Hello there.
Star Wars Battlefront II.
A game I thought was dead. Oh well, never mind. It did actually die. Anyway, I'm going to play it, try to enjoy it, and then rank it. Now, there are 4 different game modes in Star Wars Battlefront 2. We have Hero Showdown. This is a game mode where you have 2 versus 2, heroes versus villains, and you play until death. Once you died, you don't come back until the next round, and it's played as a best out of 3. Heroes vs Villains. This is a game mode that is played with a 4 vs 4 Heroes vs Villains, similar to the last, but rather than when you die you don't come back, each team has a certain amount of lives that they can go up to, and every time you respawn you use a life. Galactic Assault or Supremacy. Now this is a massive battle between heroes and villains from a similar era or time period. There is either a certain amount of deaths that each team can have, or somewhere that they need to hold, such as an objective in a King of the Hill type fight. And finally we have the campaign. Now the campaign follows the story of Iden Versio at the time of the Empire's demise, where Emperor Palpatine dies and so does Lord Vader, and there is no more leaders. To begin, we have Hero Showdown. Now this game mode was both incredibly fun and seriously frustrating. The amount of times I got genuinely very annoyed was ridiculous, and I don't think I've ever got this annoyed at a game of Star Wars in my entire life. Every time I either played the worst players known to man, which I didn't seem to record, or the biggest sweats on the universe. Now this might just be me, because I'm not very good at this game in general, but this game was genuinely so awful sometimes. There were maps where all that they had to do was force push you away from them, and you'd fly off the map and immediately die. This is so ridiculously annoying, I don't even know how to explain it. When you're sat there fighting for your life and they just do one force pull or force push and you're dead, it is stupid. There was no battle, there was no fight, you just flew off of Cloud City constantly, and I didn't know how to go against that. The only way I could do it was block, and it did just end up turning into a blocking battle the whole time. You just either blocked, and then there was no attack, there was no damage being dealt, there was nothing, and it was just, it was frustrating. But out of all the game modes in general, I actually found this one very fun. Even though it was very frustrating, you had either massive sweats, it was very fun. It was very good. It was enjoyable times. It was the game mode I'd want to go back to the most and go back and play. I loved playing as Count Dooku. Count Dooku is probably one of my favourite characters. I just love his whole aesthetic and how he's all like noble and civil and like smart and stuff, and I think he's an awesome character. But I just love his stance and the way he actually fights, his mechanics and stuff, and how he boosts his attack and attack speed and that kind of thing. I just think it's a very cool addition to the game, even though this game hasn't had a lot of updates, hasn't had a lot of extra things added onto it. It's a good game to play. Even in 2024, there's a lot more they could do with it. There's a lot better things they could add, more updates that they could have added to make this game phenomenal, and they've ruined that chance. But if they ever brought out a Battlefront 3 and added all of the updates that they could have, Battlefront 3 would genuinely be one of the best games of all time. That is a fact. So in total, Hero Showdown, it was very fun. I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, it was sweaty as hell. There were so many sweats in this game, and it was genuinely ridiculous sometimes. The maps were annoying. The fact that you just got launched or pushed once and you're instantly dead was ridiculous to me, and I did not understand it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's not too bad, I would go back to it. And now we've got Heroes and Villains. Heroes and Villains, good game mode, you know, similar to the last, but you can actually just constantly fight people, which I thought was pretty fun. I constantly died, which was not fun. Either I was getting teamed up with, or like by other people, or I was in the middle of a fight with someone and I was getting blasted by people with guns, which are apparently overpowered, but every time I use them, absolutely crap. Overall, pretty decent game. Had the same problem as the last one. If you play them stupid ass maps, you just immediately die, which is not something that you want in a game, to be fair. When, you know, one team just got a constant advantage over you with that, but overall it was a good game. I like playing this Count Dooku. He had a really unique fighting style, which is shown in the film, and I think they portray it really well in Battlefront II, like very well. And I actually enjoyed playing this game as well. So yeah. So Heroes versus Villains. It was very fun. I did actually enjoy it quite a lot. It was very repetitive though, I found. Pretty much just the same thing constantly. Guns are overpowered. 7 out of 10. Galactic Assault. Now this just might be me, or this is just a general bug, but what is this big ass thick white cloud of smoke that keeps coming towards me? And I'm dead to Count Dooku. Yeah, cool. Yeah, like, nice, good. This big ass white cloud of smoke kept blocking me from seeing shit whenever I was in the battle camp. What is that? Why is it there? What is it doing? I was getting absolutely lazy in this. My sweats. There's no skill button, basically. The ball like yeah, just constant sweats. I was joining into games halfway through all the time, like constantly fighting as a droid against Count Dooku, apparently, and General Grievous, and all these other characters who just one-touch me, clone, droid, whatever, and he's hiding behind the corner, great. But it was just constant, this white colour smoke, like I literally couldn't see anything. Anyway, my rant is over. Game mode, it's fun. It portrays Star Wars quite well, I think, you know. Gives you a good level of detail, deep stuff that you can doing the reign of the Empire and Federation as well. It was quite a good game mode. I wouldn't really say I'd play it often, just for the sheer fact that it's just very simple, very basic. If I playing with mates, probably make it more fun. But these annoying white clouds of smoke that come appearing and absolute sweats I get coming up against when I'm like level 12. Just wasn't enjoyable for me personally. But you know, it's one of those games where I could probably get used to it and pick it up again. Yeah, I gave up on all the games. They were the exact same. So, Galactic Assault. I hate it. I hate it. And I hate it. 0 out of 10. If I could give a negative, I probably would. And we have the campaign. This campaign follows the story of Island Versio. And I genuinely thought it was very, like, entertaining, very interesting. There was a lot to do. It was very kind of open world, but not at the same time. You know, you had the main start introduction bit where it was very linear, and you had the one main section. It was kind of linear all the way through, but there was always points where you could kind of pick which objective you wanted to go to. These stealth missions were pretty fun. They got it down quite well, to be fair. And the fact that I could use my droid as well was it's a unique ability, it's a cool ability, I really enjoyed it. And it really follows the story of Iden, which, you know, I think is quite cool, and the whole of the Inferno thing. One thing that I never really understood in this, there was a lot of bugs. And I don't know if all of them were intended or bugs, but walked up to this guy, I've killed him. Surely those people would have heard him, but you know, It's a stealth game, kind of makes sense. I'm now in the building. Turns around, doesn't see me. Fair enough. I ran through him. That guy's definitely not got ears. Because he didn't hear nothing. Definitely missing one ear at least. This guy, I just ended up running over to him. I shot him once, punched him. How do you not hear me, mate? I'm right here. But, fair enough. And then we move on, like, there's the outside areas of that hall. The only thing I'll say is, the enemies like to dance, apparently. Like they've just been struck. They've been boogie bombed. Every time I try to shoot them, they just moved all over the place. Look, watch right now. He's having a flipping party, man. He's all over the place. He's all over the gaff, man. I actually did have a fun experience with this game. Only thing I don't like is the flying. Flying games. So the campaign, overall, I enjoyed it quite a lot. Apart from the flying, but I'm sure I could look past that. Storyline, very good, following Ivan Versio and the Inferno squad. I actually genuinely loved that quite a lot. The bugs were pretty funny, they weren't game breaking and not annoying as hell. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Overall, this game's okay, without updates. Could have been amazing though, but EA just gave